everyone, Carola here, and today I'm going to be reading Whoosh by Chris Barton and illustrated by Don Tate. Every day brought a challenge for young Lonnie Johnson, the challenge of finding space for his stuff. 6 Johnson kids squeezed into their parents' small house in Mobile, Alabama. Lonnie would have loved a workshop of his own, but there just wasn't room. There was nowhere to keep his rocket kits. Bamboo shooters, rubber band guns, erecto set, go-kart engine, bolts and screws, and other spare parts his dad let him bring in from the shed, and various other things he hauled back from the junkyard. He learned how to make rockets from scratch. Kids at school gathered to watch Lonnie launch them, and he learned how to make rockets fuel. When it caught fire in the kitchen, Lonnie's mom didn't make him stop. She just sent him to work outside. Lonnie wanted to spend his life designing things, building things, and getting them to work. He wanted to be an engineer. However, Lonnie took an exam that said that he would not be a very good one. His dream would be challenged. Lonnie was discouraged. But he knew whoever had graded his test had meant links. Inspired by a TV show, Lonnie had built his own robot. He made it out of scrap metal and named it Lynx. Compressed air cylinders and valves allowed Lynx's body to turn and its arms to move. The switches came from an old broken jukebox. Lonnie used a tape recorder to program Lynx, and as a bonus, the reels looked like eyes. Lonnie wanted to enter his creation in a science fair, but he couldn't get the transmitter to work. Without it, Lonnie couldn't send commands to Lynx. Science fair came and went. Lonnie missed one and then another until he got an idea. Now, Lonnie may or may not have asked before he borrowed his little sister's walkie-talkie. But it fixed the transmitter issue. His school team took freshly finished Lynx to the 1968 science fair at the University of Alabama, where only 5 years earlier, African American students hadn't even been allowed. Having to compete in a place that still wasn't very welcoming, now that was a challenge with a capital C. Against other schools from all over the state, Lonnie's team won first place. Soon, Lonnie left home to go to college in Tuckery Institute, where he stood out as a self-confident, insightful, creative thinker. He stood out as a student who asked the right questions, precisely defined problems, and formulated solutions. And he stood out as the guy who built his own booming sound system out of cast-off electronics. It even had lights that flashed in sync with the beat. Lonnie sometimes studied right in the middle of his own parties. The extra studying paid off. He became an engineer after graduation, and that took him to Alabama and way beyond. When NASA was sending an orbiter and probe called Galileo to Jupiter, the space agency needed to ensure a constant supply of power to the orbiter's computer memory. The engineer who had to figure out how to do that was Lonnie. His challenge was to come up with a lightweight backup system able to keep essential functions going in case the main power was lost. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't obvious, but Lonnie found a solution. Some at NASA's Jet Propulsion Library doubted his idea would work. Lonnie convinced them it would. He was right. As it photographed Jupiter and its moon, Galileo was supported by a power package that Lonnie designed. Much of what we know about Jupiter could have been at risk in a power fail if not for Lonnie. Ideas for other problems to solve just kept flowing. They flowed whether Lonnie was working with hundreds of people at NASA or up late tinkling with his own inventions in, finally, his own workshop. Lonnie knew the world's millions of refrigerators and air conditioners needed a new cooling system, one that didn't use R12, a chemical that was bad for the environment. He had an idea for using water and air pressure instead. To test this idea, he made a pump and a nozzle, connected them to the bathroom faucet, and turned on the faucet, turned on the pump, and then whoosh! The stream that blasted across the bathroom was so powerful, it created a curtain-swirling breeze. It also gave Lonnie an idea for yet another invention. This, he thought, would make a great water gun. First, he had to make the parts, including a pump small enough for a child to handle. Then he glued his parts together into a prototype, an early version with room for improvement. Finally, Lonnie tested his strange-looking squirt gun at a picnic. "Does it really work?" a man asked. "Sure," Lonnie said. "Want to see?" Lonnie worked the pump, which squeezed air into a chamber. When he pulled the trigger, air escaped, forcing water out with a whoosh. For a water battle to be a fair fight, there couldn't just be one of Lonnie's water gun. He needed help making more. So he went to toy company after toy company after toy company. The words no flowed again and again. But finally, one company said yes. It planned to make his water gun. Lonnie also had other projects: a water-propelled toy airplane, 2 kinds of engines, and his cooling system. He found investors to provide the money for turning his ideas into products people could buy. He made a leap of faith, quit his day job, and devoted himself to full-time inventing. But soon each plan fell apart, even the one for the water gun. These things sometimes happen, but when they happen one after another to the same person, well, that's pretty bad luck. Lonnie didn't have a job. He didn't have the money he'd been counting on. He and his family had to move out of their home into a literal apartment. He was angry and scared. But Lonnie had dealt with challenges all his life. He knew a lot about solving problems, and he still believed in his inventions, especially the water gun. Lonnie went looking for another toy company. In 1989, he found a toy maker who was interested in seeing the water gun if he ever happened to be in Philadelphia. "But don't make a special trip," the guy said. Lonnie made a special trip. In his wife's suitcase, he carried the new prototype. He unpacked it, filled the tank with water, pumped the gun until the air pressure was good and high, and whoosh. Oh, wait. Whoosh. Kids everywhere agreed with that. Wow! Lonnie's water gun, called the Super Soaker, became a smash hit. In no time, there were super soakers in backyards and on beaches, in parks, and on playgrounds. Each sale of a Super Soaker put a little money in Lonnie's pocket. All those hours, all those years Lonnie spent in his workshop had paid off big time. Now he could afford to do just about anything he wanted. So what did Lonnie do? He got a bigger workshop where you'll find him today, because facing challenges, solving problems, and building ideas is just what Lonnie Johnson loves to do. And his ideas keep flowing. The end. I hope everyone enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a great day.